Alright, let's get the channel all ready to go. Path of Exile 2 uploaded. Get our thumbnail set. Alright, that's everything. Let's go, let's go. Okay. Delirium, high reach. We're out of reach though. Cool. Let me check some stuff on the trade site. It's been a couple of days since I have been on. See, that is fake news. But is it? Maybe we can get it. So I have 100 and what is that? 126 or 27% physical damage. This is 130 with 33 to 65 on the. So I got so it has better fizz there too. Okay, this is a little better. P1. Where are we at here? Just looking at bows right now on the trade site, seeing if there's anything that tickles my fancy, which I have a 2 and a 3. Or wait, for the percentages, I have a 1 hybrid and a 3. There's actually this one, it's 250. Pretty much gets me, what is that? 177%, which is better fizz. And then another 78, which is a better hybrid, I think. Yeah, well, a little bit better on the hybrid, way better on the desecrated, but then the desecrated one that I have, which is the tier 3. And that's got a 2 on the fizz though, unfortunately. What about this one? This one has less on my on the hybrid. A little bit more on the fizz there, that's not really that great. What about this one? Yeah, I'm not really impressed with these. Best one here is this one, which has a little bit worse on the hybrid, more, but makes up for it with the desecration. But that has the tier 1 flat fizz. So if we're just thinking about it, what's the total difference on the percentage fizz? So it's 160, 120, 130. So it's slightly better there, but it does have a fairly significant increase on the top end of the fizz damage. It's 33 to 65. I feel like that's pretty good. Like, I'm not sure we're gonna get something too much better. The only thing I can imagine is check with lightning damage to attack. if we drop the fizz percentage. Alright, and then we're gonna go. Not a lot. Not a lot of options there either. I mean, I think the best is this one. It's 350. Or no, that's not it either. Let's see, one's 35 to 51. I see it's a little bit lower on the flat, which I don't want to take, even if it's a little lower. It's not high enough on the percentage to make me want it. It's like a slight boost. So was mine a tier 1 on the, okay, so mine's a tier 1 on the hybrid. Okay, okay. Okay, well, we're not going to get anything today. At least not just yet. Oh, what do we got? We should have some chaos orbs, yep. Cool. Could try running something different today. Maybe we'll run like just pure pack size or something fun. I don't know. Not sure what the tinkability is of that. Tinkability is what it's called. Let's see where we are on our. So we're gonna need paranoia for sure. If we're gonna run the classic. Okay. We'll have to grab our ritual, our omens. Damn, that's up there in price now. Holy shit. 35 fucking chaos orbs for 10. They're like over double price from the last time I played. That's some bullshit. Whatever. What else are we doing with the money? Nothing. Alright, so we're gonna take grab our maps. Alright, now these need one of them. Let's hit them with our exalts. Hope everyone had a good holiday that celebrates Thanksgiving. If not, I hope you had a good weekend. Or of the weekend, I guess there's still some weekend left. But we also got some news. Got some news if no one heard. I'm sure everyone's heard. Right on Thanksgiving, right as everyone was pulling the turkey right out of the oven. Drop that new teaser. Looks like, from what everyone's thinking, we're gonna get some Zeri action in the new league, which is super cool. I mean, I don't know exactly what to think too much. I don't have a PoE 1 PhD, but it seems like that could lead to some new boss action, which I'm all about. All about the new boss action. Seems like it's going to tie into the league mechanic with the Fate of the Vol league name. I guess now that we have a name for the league, I guess the Last of the Druids is more or less the name of the what do you want to call it? The update, but the league is being called the Fate of the Wall, which is cool. It sounds like it's going to have some ties directly to the lore, more or less, unlike Abyss, which didn't really directly tie into the lore. It was kind of a side project, which is really cool. It sounds really fun. I like that. Yeah, I think I've seen some people speculating on what they think is going to be the mechanic now that we have, I guess, a little bit more of an idea. I wouldn't say an idea, but we've got something a little bit more to speculate on. A lot of people are saying incursion, which as far as I know seems to be a... Oh, geez, expensive. Okay. Sort of a build your own dungeon kind of map thing. Some people have also speculated, it seems that they are that there's also like a possibility that they will be doing, hold on, I guess something from 0.1 where there was like these more Vol side areas and that you would get fragments to fight at Ziri. Potentially like a hybrid or both of these, maybe like that actually sounds like a likely thing. I wonder if they're going to have something like, as far as the actual game itself, the campaign, I should say, where they will have like the side areas. And then maybe like you'll have like side areas in the end game, but you'd also maybe have the incursions, and maybe like the side areas will be all over like each map, and then maybe the incursion sort of points will be in the in the actual like corrupted areas. I also think there's like a likelihood that like there's going to be a big heavy push for like bigger corrupted areas, more corrupted areas, or something like that. Maybe corrupt the whole map. Okay, so how many do I have left? How many Chaos Orbs, I should say? 15. Okay, we can get this one with the strong boxes. Do this one. 36% with the strong boxes. Then we'll get started. Man, I haven't played in days and days. Feels like the longest break I've taken all league. Happy to be back though. Also, we will be switching over to playing on PC the next week or so. Picked it up on, was it on Black Friday? Thought it was going to be ready till today. That's one reason I took a little bit more of a break. Expected to pick this up Sunday, but it was ready on Friday, so got it on Friday. So it's just sitting here in the box. Still need to grab a new desk and a new monitor, honestly. So once we get all that sorted, we will be setting up for the new league. I already got I think a PC key from a friend. He'll be lending me, so we'll be able to play pretty quickly. The only thing I'm kind of waiting for now also is like I want to see what type of, what do you call them? The supporter packs are released. We'll find that out, you know, what the new supporter packs will be in just, is it less than 4 days now? Decide if we want to go with one of those or one of the other ones that are available. I'm quite interested in seeing those, since I'll need to rebuy all my stash tabs and things. Be interested in getting, seeing what hideouts they have, since I don't think I'll be able to take my hideout with me, as far as I know. But if we are, then that's cool too. I'll have to see about that. I feel like it's not going to be a thing. Look at that. First map back, first Divine Orb. That sound never gets old. But yeah, if there's nothing that tickles my fancy, I'm definitely considering the, what is it, the Verdant Magus pack from the PoE 1 League, where you get sort of like the treehouse, sort of, oh fuck, I didn't add, it's the rust on me, forgot to add the orbs to it, forgot to juice it. But the Verdant Magus seems pretty cool, but maybe I'll have to watch I feel like those are showing up differently. Are they showing up differently? Maybe not. Just haven't played the game in so long, I forget how everything looks. But yeah, the Verdant Magus hideout looked really cool. Comes with like a nice matching portal too. It's all good. I like that. I don't necessarily need the portal, but I'll take it. I mean, I guess I'll take it. I guess I will need a new portal, so having one that matches the hideout, kind of nice. I don't remember if there's anything else out of that pack I like. I don't really like the armor and stuff like that, but who knows, maybe it'll go good with a specific build or something. We're finding out all that patch note and information on the changes to build on Thursday as well. I probably won't be live during the actual reveal because I can't like stream it over top of it, and I definitely encourage everyone to watch on Twitch so they can get their Twitch drops, things like that. I think that's a lot more fun for everyone. But then afterwards we'll do like maybe after the main reveal, maybe after the first like 3 hours of the live stream, when everyone could have their Twitch drops have registered, then I'll probably go live and wait for the, what do you call it, the patch notes, so we can go over those and see what we think about those. So feel free to drop in then, and we can go over that stuff. Yeah, and then we'll probably decide from there sort of potentially like what types of builds will be viable. I'm not sure I'm going to completely commit to one right there, then and there, without a little bit more thought. Also seeing what the chief build designers are thinking as well, because, you know, they can interpret a lot of the patch notes and such better than I can. There's also the high probability that stuff changes between the time that we get the patch notes and the time it releases. Usually there's some changes. With PoE 1 this league, they actually nerfed one of their new skills before it even hit, which is kind of funny. So we don't want to like plan for something that's going to get nuked just based off of people's excitement for it. Okay. But yeah, we'll be starting off on PC once I get all set up on there. I want to make sure that I get everything set up so everything is running nice and smoothly. Get my OBS set up so we're at like so we can do some more exciting things. Pipe in some music, do some have some scenes and some things set up. We can have the chat on the screen a little bit better now. So we can have a lot of fun, especially since we've got with the new league. Oh look, I got another one. With the new league coming up, we'll be doing like a long kind of marathon type stream. Now I could actually probably do something like some sort of punishment or challenge wheel for whatever amount of subs I'm able to get as the stream goes on. So I'll be able to set up a lot of really fun things, I think, before the new league. Got like 10 and a half days, 11 days for that. Bunch of crap. As expected. Oh, this is I put this up for 35 chaos. That'll keep the ball rolling on some of these maps. Is it so I'll potentially be trying keyboard and mouse, but I will also be doing a little bit of a controller if that doesn't feel too good. So yeah, we'll see how that feels. Haven't used WASD in like 15 years for a game, so it's actually not 15 years, but pretty close for especially for anything that's like high action. Like I played fucking like Terraria, and that was on Wasta, but that's not quite the same. But yeah, I'm pretty excited to get that all set up and running and be able to up the quality of the streams. If anyone has any suggestions on things we can do now that we're going full PC, be sure to comment. In a lot of ways, it'll be a bit overwhelming, so I'm sure there's a lot of things that I will overlook. At least initially. No divine yet, but we did get a tink. Tinks are what we're hunting. Hunting that dopamine drip from those from that sound. It's the goal at this point. If I see a good bow go up online for sale within my budget, I'm gonna pull the trigger just for fun. At this point, it doesn't really matter. I think that's probably where I can get the most damage output out of, though, at this point. And I don't think I need to get too much else out of anything, so like, I don't think I need to get more defensive. I don't think it's gonna make a big deal. This build is pretty... It is a glass cannon. It's less of a glass cannon because we're sort of at the end version of it, but... if something's gonna hit us, whatever upgrades we're gonna get in a new Falconer or something, is it going to make a huge difference? I feel like the biggest differences that I can make would be like to chaos chaos damage, or chaos resistance. Like, that's got like a pretty high probability of like doing a lot of damage. I think my biggest weakness is still like big physical slams. I think that's most people's weaknesses. But like, can't really do too much about that. But at least I don't think so anyway. The best thing I could do is like gain deflection or whatever, but deflection does not seem to be, even with like if I put deflection on my boots and my gloves and forsake my chaos res for it, I don't think it's enough to actually negate like a big slam from fucking one-shotting me. I don't have enough like HP and energy shield for that. I don't think there's too many ways I can get more HP and energy shield. Significantly anyway. Which is fine. Obviously we're not having too many problems killing everything on the map. Let's do this summoning circle. Might as well take the putrefaction. It's worth nothing. I'm not going to use it, but we might as well mess around with it. Might as well take it. Let's switch over to this just in case. Don't want this fight to be too long because don't want those arrows to come down and fuck you up. Okay. Abyssal echoes at least. White breach ring. Nice. Honestly, I don't even know. I don't think no one wants white breach rings at this point, but there's not enough of them. It's funny, there's no way for me to get to that tower. That's so bonk. So lame. In the spring though. No Kosis or Omniphobia yet, surprisingly. At least I haven't seen them. Maybe they died off screen, but doubt it. At least we got the Coalesce corruption and all that. Nope. Orange Spirit Delwyn, let's go. Well, I think it turned one of them into a boss. Causes arachnophobia. Not sure if that's a good thing. Not sure if you'd actually want them better, raw or whatever. The wisps, especially, I feel like the orange wisps are actually like worse at this point. Maybe not, but like, definitely don't seem like they have the, like, given that I've gotten 2 golden charms, none of them from the orange wisps rabbit, and things like that are just like kind of useless. I feel like it's not like what you want at this point. Okay. Where is the... Okay, it's all the way at the beginning. There's no more monsters actually on the map. Except for maybe a fractured mirror. Let's roll it up with this asshole. Looks like the corrupted monsters don't necessarily count. Okay. Damn, nothing exciting about this map. No tinkies, no tinks. So I hit that strong box up I missed. Bunch of nonsense. Take some whetstones though, why not? Okay. Where are we going now? We've got some garbage, let's go sell it. Greater Chaos isn't too terrible, it's at least something. Okay. Now where are we going? I think there's another deserted here we can do. Yep, there it is. Let's hit this one. Deserted's nice. So a good one in it. Alrighty, right. Yeah, I'm hoping with the Adziri thing that there's like a new pinnacle. Hopefully it ties into the lore of the game. Hopefully we get like a full pinnacle fight though, not like a Kulamak version of a pinnacle fight. Where he's just like... I saw some people talking about how they want like stronger pinnacles, like that. The pinnacles we have are basically just like punching bags. Which is kind of like on display. In like basically every like build video, you know, you see like where someone's showing off their build, they always show like Zesht getting like absolutely murdered as like a basically to show what type of damage you do, which is true. These are facts. That's how people show off their builds, to show you, because you know how much damage, how much HP Zesht has. You know that he doesn't really fight back. He's basically a punching bag. So hopefully we get a strong boss or something in the form of Edziri. Even compared to like Zesh, things like Kulamak are absolute jokes. Like beyond jokes. See, anything we could do to up that challenge would be fun. I've gotten like comments on some of my shorts where I just melt bosses real quick. People are like, oh, I actually like to fight the bosses. And it's like, yeah, I fought the bosses early in the league, but now we're at the point at the end of the league where everything just kind of dies. So, it's not like I don't like to fight the bosses or anything. There's just no point in like having like a drawn out fight with the boss at this point. You know, it's like why don't I just fight every monster in a mob then? I don't know any game where that's kind of the goal. Maybe like Sekiro. No luck, it looks like in this one. Seems mostly cleared out. Nope, a little bit more action, not a lot. Alright, that was pretty much cleared out. Alright, let's go take on the boss. No depths yet, kind of surprising. Just felt like I was getting a lot of depths recently. Jaunty depths. Woke up. Yeah, at this point we're just having fun. Just having fun and trying to talk about what's to come. Running our favorite maps and such. Mire, oh my god, I fucking hate Mire. It's like, no, you have to do Mire to get through here. Mother sucker. Willow? Why not? We'll do Willow. We do have another Grand Projects, which we can, if we do get to, maybe we can get to do this tomorrow and get into here and run this tower. Is there any other towers we'd want to run? We do have a Moment of Zen there, which we could run real quick. Get a long quarterstaff or whatever. I don't want to talk too much shit on the Moment of Zen though. I got at least one decent item this league from there, which is the Silver Charm. It's not like an absolute buster thing to drop, but I mean for whatever, I think I got like 7 divine for it at the time. Don't want to talk too much shit. It definitely has better odds than the reliquary. Which, as everyone knows, the reliquary is nonsense. It's nonsense if you actually want something good. Obviously, people can get something good out of it, but if you ran like fucking 50 reliquaries, there's still a good chance you're not gonna get anything good. If you're on 50 Moments of Zen, probably gonna get something good eventually. It's also, we need to remember it's been about something like 1,000,000 years since we've got any semblance of a ancient bone. Pretty much given up hope on ever getting another one. I'm like half convinced that they like fucking absolutely knocked them out of the game at this point. Sure, people are getting them, but like seems extraordinarily infrequent compared to my earlier frequency in the game, where I would get one, you know, every couple days. Yeah, I could say I could like pretty accurately say that like 1 in 50 maps I would get an ancient bone. At the very least 1 in 100 maps. There's been a whole lot more maps than that though since I've dropped one. Oh man. Not great drops so far. Let's go make sure we didn't miss any loot. Shitty catalysts. Was it, yeah, maybe we will eventually, before the next league starts, do one more campaign run. If we do, I'll probably do something like a Chaos Lich, Contagion, ED or whatever. I haven't done one. That was like my first build and I didn't know what I was doing and it felt horrible. I think it's a little bit better now. So maybe we'll give that a shot. Twink it out. Let's grab a random map. Run this Zen. Could you imagine having like, oh yeah, never mind. I was gonna say they took an ignited ground off of here. Used to be able to get ignited ground in here, so we bought a bunch of shit. I mean, Bones of Ulur with I mean, that's all we really got. We'll take it. Why not? You used to be able to get like ignited ground in there, and you could get ignited ground in Vaults of Kamasa. It's kind of funny to think that you could like die in a Vaults of Kamasa. jeez. Oh my gosh, is it going for fucking 7? Jesus Christ. Watch me have one already in my fucking lightning res. Okay. Do I have another pair of bones? Yeah, I do. But they've got worse reservation, so, you know. Whatever. Let's look at our Atlas, see if that opened anything up when we did that, though. Yeah, it did. Nothing to get to this tower either, okay. Okay, fucking game. I mean, I guess we're going to this tower, through this Morrow. Why not? I hate this map, but usually I have some decent drops here. Even as much as I hate it. Hate it because there's a lot of dead ends. Maybe you can get a ritual, nice. Gotta wait to the end to do those rituals. Might as well kill this asshole. Come on, wake up. Rip bozo. Go. Ball orb, noise. Everyone wants those. Best thing you can get. Man, this game's giving me no mercy today. Come on, give me something in here. Couple pits at least. Oh, God. Oh, you got depths. You got another. Every depths is another chance to turn it all around, guys. Okay, let's hit this breach. It's pretty much clear unless there's something around here on the right. Got a little bit, not a lot though. Alright. So Now we can do either the depths or the ritual. Let's do depths first. 50 monsters, really? I guess they're over by the entrance. Okay. Let's see where we at here. Let's hope for some swingage. I assume maybe tomorrow we're gonna get information from GGG on what the Twitch drops will be during the GGG live reveal on Thursday. Hopefully it's something good. Looking forward to. I always look forward to those drops. I always feel like the freebie drops are like better than the ones that people purchase. That's just my opinion. And on Thursday we'll get all the information from the actual league. We'll get the supporter pack information. We'll also get, like, I think like last time they did the free weekend, if you beat the first act you got certain cosmetics. I'm sure we'll be getting that information on Thursday as well. Looking forward to seeing what type of cosmetics to give away. Hopefully more armor, more gear. Versus like effects or anything like that, which I think is more likely. So is it a good one? Nope, it's poop. Love to drop a perfect one. I don't think they're worth anything, but it would be fun to see. Okay, now we just gotta do these rituals here. And look for the last 50 monsters, which are probably in that little section over there. It's that's not unveiled yet at the bottom. So we'll do that on the way. What does it say? Tornadoes, oh, easy. Easy money. Love me a tornado. Ratnado. Almost nothing as far as tribute, which is unfortunate, but expected. That's like the problem with like the extra content on maps being like random. I guess it's not that, but like, unless you're juiced for it, like especially rituals, like your likelihood of getting something good out of it is pretty low. It's kind of like the best thing you can hope for is like a ritual tablet to drop, obviously. But like if something is good in your ritual, you can kind of forget about being able to have enough tribute for it. Because a lot of times it's like 10,000 tribute and like maybe even 3,000 just to defer something like that. Yeah, and you're probably not getting that just from the ritual itself. Like I just did 2 and I got 660. That's not even close to where we need to be. It's like okay for like splinter acquisition, I guess, though, if you want some splinters. Okay, we've gotten all the monsters now. Let's do this last one for fun. We'll re-roll the last one, get something good in, and not be able to afford even close to it. We can't even afford to fucking re-roll it. Oh my god. But that's, like I said, kind of expected. Okay. onto the tower. We'll go grab a random waystone to use it with the grand project. It's funny though, because like at this point, like it doesn't even matter what type of waystone you run in there. You could run a 7. It doesn't matter. Like literally 0%. Like I could run a 7 with the grand project, and as long as it has like, but it doesn't unveil like more area, I don't think, or anything like that. Like I just put this in there instead. Doesn't matter at all. It's something they need to, that will need to be like sort of revised, is that you can juice any level of maps. Not saying you shouldn't be able to juice any level of maps, but like there's no incentive to running like towers with very juicy maps. We can appreciate the color though, the color without the delirium for once. The depth of, and like the fidelity of everything. Looks very good. Hoping they do something to make delirium less of an eyesore in this next league. I think that would be huge. If they can't do that, maybe they could just like add another way of juicing maps that is as good. So we don't have to feel like we need to run delirium. I mean, that'd probably be my preference. Like, I guess I don't really mind the delirium fog. It's just the fact that we have to run delirium fog. Otherwise, it feels like you're not getting enough out of your. You're not getting. You're not fulfilling the potential of the juice. Graded depths. A low ass level depths. It's like, why even run it? I mean, maybe I'll get a bone out of it. Maybe that's the secret. Go kill this asshole first. As usual, like literally, the first thing that revived took all of my aggro. Super annoying. Okay, let's go down to the steps. And yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'll be really excited whenever we're not doing depths on every map. I'm sure that whatever the next thing is will probably be even longer. Potentially less rewarding. This feels somewhat rewarding. Especially like the above ground part of it. I feel like down here it's really, really low probability of good stuff. But you do get good stuff occasionally. But like, hopefully the mechanic for the next league, if it is like incursion or whatever, I mean, 2 Sinastrals, like that's nothing to snare at. Preserve collarbone. I feel like it wanted to give me something better. I'm But yeah, hopefully whatever we get next time is quite beneficial in what it drops us. I mean, I'm also kind of interested, and maybe we'll get the information this week. I assume we'll get it, if not this week, obviously, with the reveal. But what's the fate of Abyss? Obviously, Abyss, I think, is going to stay with the game. But I don't know whether or not it's going to be something that we're able to actually juice on our maps, or it's only going to be exist through maybe the overruns, abyssal overruns, and maybe extra content. I'm not sure we're going to be able to, or maybe through like desecration, like once you get some of the things then you could desecrate it onto a map, but I want to know at what rate we'll be able to actually count on some of that stuff. Because obviously it's a really big deal for juicing your maps and crafting. I mean, I'd say mostly crafting, for being honest. It's like huge. I think you could juice without them, but crafting without them feels pretty bad for the most part. Oh, what do we got? Iron Citadel. Dude, we got an Iron Citadel, guys. Which means the maps around it are mostly gonna suck. We got another iron. We got stone. Okay. Let's do the spring. Wow, this is hell. Visual clarity at its best, boys. It's like delirium fog isn't bad like by itself, but all these things combined make it pretty heinous. Jeweler's orb, at least it tinked, you know. You know, we're really gonna take the perfect Jeweler's orb for granted. I feel like we always do going into every league. You get sick of it, seeing it. It disappoints us late in the league because we don't need them anymore. But early in the league, when you need them, they don't drop for shit. And they're worth like fucking 2 divine. You ain't got shit any divine. You just run around with your fucking 4-linked skills, 4-socket skills, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, it's rough early on. Looking forward to it though. I kind of enjoy that part of the league. Defiance? Nope. Of course it's not Defiance of Destiny. Why would it be? Azuli Ring? What? Sea of Cataclysm? Why would it be? Why would it be a Sea of Cataclysm? Not that I don't have like fucking 4 Sea of Cataclysms just sitting in my stash I haven't put up for sale. They're probably only worth a couple chaos each, but hey. Probably have to do like what is it? For the next league, after they announce that Yeah, they're gonna announce like, oh, the league is coming to an end. The last day you can access your stuff is this. Usually it's like 48 hours before the new league. Probably have to take the time to just delete all the stuff we don't want, just so you know. Just because I feel like that's like the end of the league tradition for me, so get rid of all the bullshit out of my stash. Even though it doesn't carry over to the new league, and I never have to deal with it in standard because I don't really deal with standard much. Yeah, looking forward to dealing with that, getting that out of the way. Honestly, I need to do it even less than before because of the... Hey, Divine. Look at that. Because we're switching to PC, like literally I'm not even going to have the stash tabs available to me. Which is super unfortunate, but that's how it is. Said before, I'll probably like actually streamline what stash tabs I end up purchasing early on. Because of how many of them I don't really use, like the currency and the map one is like a must. Currency's big. I mean, this isn't really a must. I mean, it is, but like most of this shit I don't actually use for the most part. Like I could just get rid of most of this shit and not even like think about it. I feel like currency, maps, gems is probably pretty high up there, even though it's mostly like, again, like I don't really use a lot of this stuff. I'm not like anything I use it right away. When I store it away, it's usually just like basically trash. Like I can get socketables maybe. Like the essence one again. I mean, it'd be nice to have them all though, if we're being honest. Be nice to not feel like there's any, like I'm doing anything lesser as I switch over. Only up, you know. $330 divs, not bad. Yeah, I'll probably order like my monitor and my desk tomorrow. Hopefully Amazon can get right on that and get it to me. That would be really nice if I can get it within just a couple of days. It gets annoying, like even if I like look for like a desk that I could like go and physically get in person, it's just like they don't really exist anymore. You know, we've got like Walmart, Target, Best Buy. That's kind of it as far as options. And most of those places don't really like. Best Buy doesn't carry any of them. Walmart carries like one PC desk, and it's pretty small. I mean, I'm not even against getting a small like one just for now, just to get started. But it's kind of overpriced for what you get. Like you can get a lot more desk for the same price through Amazon or through their website. But like whenever you order from their website, it's like mostly third-party dealers, and third-party dealers, they won't ship to store. And right now my like shipping to my apartment situation is pretty lame. Like, it's kind of boring, so I'm not going to get into it, but basically, like, I don't ship anything to my apartment because they just leave it out front on, like, Main Street of the fucking city. So it would have a high probability of just getting stolen by some bum. So kind of limits my options, but I think I've got a solution, at least temporary. I will say it will be like really lazy when I play this game. So it's going to be interesting to get used to, like, sitting in front of a monitor, kind of at attention. Nice. We like our divines. Got a depths too, which would be nice. Guess we're not doing too bad for drops. A few divines is nice. Let me go back to this bow I'm looking at. This one's not bad. It just has worse flat fizz, which I don't want. Yeah, I don't know. You're not quite. Let's see, if I was looking, right now I'm looking at ones like under 350. Let's see what happens when I expand it to like 400. It's mostly dog shit. Actually, ugh. I mean, yeah, this is probably... No, that's bad too. What the hell are people selling this for 400 for? What's mine at? 532. See, like, the best one is still this one. It's hard to tell though, because the guy has like 3 physical percentage fucking runes in it, so like I gotta like do the reverse math to get that off there in my head, but still only 250. Like I could go buy that now, but I can sell mine for like 150 or so, 160, somewhere in there. It's probably worth more. I think it's like all pretty much on the level of these ones. There we go, boys. That's what we like to see. Divin and them in the light on one map. I did get a div, yep, I did get a div, forgot. Forget it. why it's important not to change your strategies too much. Just don't get worried, you know, run what works, and if something doesn't feel good, just keep, you know, you gotta finish your sample size, right? And even so, like, sometimes it's just a bad run. I can go 10 maps and not get shit, but if I change my strategy to something else, maybe I'll get a div, but I won't get that Omen of Light I wanted. I wish there was a way to, like, remove, like, the effective runes from your searches. I feel like that would be nice. It would be quite helpful. Let's switch to Delib. But yeah, still looking at what we're gonna play next league. Ritualist is up there still. Monk is up there, especially more particular if he gets another Ascendancy. Invoker's not bad, but if we can get like the Martial Artist or something that's gonna buff the, or it's gonna support the Hollow Palm better, that'd be preferred. I don't think that Invoker's bad for her, I just don't think it's like a full-on like great support. Oh my gosh. Yes, please. So how many? So you want like over 220 or something like that? 208. It's not quite what we want to see. Because that's not even 4. So we'll just go straight divs. At least I don't think so. Let's see. Yeah. So that was a 5 div map. We're up to like 8 or 9 div or something like that in 8 maps. That's good, good, good. Try another Savannah while we're feeling lucky with it. Maybe what I'll have to do is actually recreate this fucking bow in PoB to see if it's worth getting. Because it's mostly tier 1, tier 2. There's no tier 3 or anything like mine has. It's probably an increase, it's just a matter of how much of an increase, I guess. Maybe I'll import my build and put it on and see how it looks. Yeah, I wish I could like remove the rune effect off of them. That'd be pretty good. Make searching things a little better. A lot of people like to deceive with that type of stuff. Shouldn't say deceive, but they definitely church things up. I wonder if they'll finally do like an overall nerf to lightning damage as well. Not lightning damage, but the effects of lightning. Like, it's not just the damage that is too good. It's the, you know, it has like the ability to arc, it's got the ability to, it's got the highest rolls, so like you can do like lucky damage or whatever, or lucky roll your damage. Be interesting to see if any changes come to those types of concepts. Or if they do what's right, which is buff everything else, give everything else a little bit of a tertiary benefit. I feel like that's like the #1 thing the game needs as far as balance. Skills other than lightning need buffed massively. A second. Still no ancient bones. Game hates me. Like Ignite should have some sort of an ability to spread to nearby enemies as well. Not just like arc. With not just like the way that lightning does. I think that would be pretty huge. They should all effectively have like a similar benefit. Maybe cold doesn't need to spread as much, but maybe it should have like some sort of area effect where the frozen bodies leave some cold in their wake so that they can slow other enemies down. Fire should be able to spread to like as many enemies as there are. Arc should be, or lightning should be spread to less, but it's a more powerful move. Maybe something like that. Just spitballing ideas. Living on a prayer. As much as you see me play lightning in an OP build, does not mean that I do not want changes to that type of shit. Oh my god, more cold. I'm like the master of rolling cold on my fucking maps. Do sulfuric caverns, and then we'll do some pinnacling.
I also wonder if we're gonna maybe get something in the way of divination cards. I feel like they've rewarded those for like, I don't know, like the boss kill events or something before, like designing them or something. I wonder if we'll ever get those in, or if that's gonna be wait till full release. There's some pretty like baseless speculation, but speculation nonetheless that we'll get maybe an actual release date for the full release with this patch. Some people speculating about 1 year, so like December 2026. I think that's a reasonable timeline. Like, pretty reasonable. Given how much more stuff they have to add to it. Like, they don't necessarily need all the classes to go full release. But they're definitely going to want to release like the last act, I think. I have no idea where that tinked from. It's not that far off screen. Oh, there we go. Here's our div. That's what we like to see. Like an underground monster. I don't see maybe there's a, maybe that was it. No. Is that it? No. Hmm. It's up here, maybe. There's no essence. Is it bugged? It's only happened to me a couple of times, surprisingly, where this... I've had this happen before, but maybe we can just re-enter the map or something. Oh, second div. Look at that. Who gives a shit about that abyss? Fuck that abyss. That brings us to like something like 340 divs or something like that total. Pretty close, if not. If I buy like a bow for 350, I want to have at least like 10 in the 10 div over, so I'm not like flat broke after. So I could still buy. Well, I might have to buy the runes for it too. Of course, we can sell my current bow, but we don't. Who knows how long that'll take? I might have to like do it at a pretty big loss to make sure that. That it sells quickly before the end of the league. I'm like wondering, like, could it be an underground monster? Like, we're at 29 monsters left. They gotta be all at the beginning. On that side there. We'll kill the boss and then we'll figure it out. Maybe if we checkpoint around a bit, it'll come back in. Sometimes that works. Okay, now we're down to one monster. Is this like the one monster that it's gonna take to open it up or something? This is quite the annoyance. Also, my music stopped. What the hell? They're conspiring against me. Oh, and it won't let me put anything new on. Awesome. Love whenever Spotify does that. Man, I can't wait to get it to switch over to PC for shit like that. Like, I'd have to totally reset the console, which would turn off the stream to do that, which is not worth doing. So I just get to go in with listening to the SFX like you guys. Try going back in, see if anything changes. Looks like it did. Nope, never mind. No monsters left. Just a broken ass fucking abyss. Okay. Unfortunate. But we got 2 div. Can't complain too much. Cool. 337. What are augments going for right now? Wow. That's good. These are all good prices. People must be like practicing their crafting. Okay. Anything here?
I'll fill that in as soon as I can.
Okay. It's pretty huge. Bet these, what is it called? These all have gone up in price. Yep.
All right, your order is registered.
Pretty crazy amount of, upswing there. Let's see what's our breach at. 214. We'll buy more breach splinters. So you could run 2. I need 86.
All right, your order is registered.
Run the Zesh first, why not? Let's put 32 of these back. Okay. is the domain. Let's go. Let's see. Make sure we didn't miss any news. I doubt it, but now that we're in teaser season. Oh, we did get PoE 2 news. Oh, they did announce the Twitch drops, guys. When did they do this? 40 minutes ago. Check it out. We got some Twitch drops. Verdant Wilds dodge roll effect. That's pretty cool. That's gonna go with the druid probably. Basically, it looks like a green fart comes out. I'm sure it's supposed to be like grass and foliage. Let me get a closer look on my phone here. You get like a green thing coming out of you. I mean, that could honestly look pretty good if I end up going with the Verdant Mage hideout. Let's see, give us any other information. Thursday, December 4th. Be able to earn the Verdant Wilds dodge roll effect. Okay, cool. I don't have any dodge roll effects at all, so that could still be cool, even if it's not like, you know, I don't know. I was not sure what we would expect. Maybe we'll get a cool armor set or gear set or something else from doing the first acts with the free weekend and everything to go with it. Yeah, definitely check that out if you haven't. Should be on the PoE Reddit, should be on the PoE forum, the official forum, under announcements as well on the forum. Should be, yeah, probably also announced over on X. Yep, we're at like, what, 3.5 days till that happens. A little bit more than 3.5 days, I think. Probably like 3 days and 18 hours. Hopefully, I'm really hoping for some really cool supporter packs. But that Verdant Mage or Verdant Magus pack is really cool. I like the hideout you get. Who knows, maybe I'll end up, there's some super broken meta druid just running at all league, just like I ran this broken thing into the ground. Like, you gotta, like, it's definitely a consideration, because, like, anything that, it's kind of like with, like, async trade or anything, like, anything new is, like, you know, there's only gonna be one league where it's, like, truly broken as hell before things get patched on it. This might be the time to do it. So maybe I am leaning a little bit towards Druid for the league start. Hopefully, you know, what happens is like everyone runs Druid. A lot of people go, oh, this is too expensive, and then they switch to some other meta. And then I keep grinding because I don't care about how long it takes to outfit something expensive. Then we have an Uber Druid by the end. If they don't nerf Roa, we'll do Druid on a Roa. One more of these, and we'll switch to Simulacrum. Probably back to mapping. Simulacrum really feels good. If it drops, then we'll stick there, but maps felt pretty good. Maps felt very good. Is that like 10 div and 10 maps worth of value? Plus, actually, just between the big drops, plus everything else. It's pretty good. Chaos and things like that add up. I've gotten really used to the sort of lagging on console. I'm sure we'll still get some lag on PC, but I'm really looking forward to, because I've seen people basically run the same PC setup as me. I've seen like how people set it up and everything, and it looks a lot smoother, a lot cleaner. The detail looks a little bit finer, fidelity and all that. Looking forward to performing at like over 60 frames per second almost all the time. Come on, bozo. Look at that, guys. What more can you ask for? I mean, you can ask for a lot more, but I ain't greedy. Okay, let's hit up the Simi. Love me some Simulacrum. Give me that Giga Megalomaniac, or give me that mirror, drop me that mirror. There's enough fractured mirrors in there. Should give me not fractured mirror. Honestly, Simulacrum's gotta be hell for melee builds. Even that Hollow Palm Monk that I was running. It's gotta be absolutely the worst. Especially like Warrior, slow as shit. Trying to leap slam while they're leaping on top of you and slamming you. Hey, suffering right off the bat, that's not bad. Let's keep it going. As always, guys, be sure to like the stream. Haven't mentioned it so far. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Got a lot more PoE 2 content coming up, especially with the new league. Gonna be a whole lot of streaming, especially that first week. I think we'll be in store for like a 30+ hour marathon stream with the start of the league. Sure, everyone else is gonna be playing a lot, but I will be there for when you're not. The plan is to get to the maps within one stream. I think it'll be pretty quick as long as there's not bugs like there were last a couple leagues. So I guess at that point, like since it's happened the last couple leagues, I can almost expect it to have some bugs, but some bugs slowed me down the past couple streams. In 0-2 we had the Mythic Katava Ascendancy that I wanted to try out and was not available. It's not available when I got there, and took about 2 hours for them to enable it. And then last league you had the issue, or this league I should say, we had the issue where you couldn't go into certain zones early in the Act 1. So I kept having to like get people to like portal me to new zones so my shit wouldn't crash. So as long as they've plugged some of those holes up, I'm expecting like got to 100% it, do all the do the first, at least the first 2 ascendancies, assuming there's no Trial of the Ancestors, which I think there will be. Probably around 12 to 15 hours to complete the campaign. I mean, maybe longer, we'll see. I mean, if we're doing Druid or something, I don't really know how that's gonna play, so it could take longer. And whatever other time there is, because like I said, we'll play around 30 hours. We'll do some mapping. We'll probably just try to map and get our points, especially with the Nexus points, the main map points. Main map points, and then since they made the first level of each mechanics points to get pretty easy, we'll make sure that we go for each one of those. It'll be really nice to get that deep into maps and our points within the first day. Then we'll take a nap, go to sleep for 6 to 8 hours, and then we'll come in and hit it again. Probably another 12-hour stream after that. You know, we'll be hitting it heavy for that first week and get as far ahead of everyone in the economy that we can, so we can buy some of those better items pretty cheap before they skyrocket in price. Like this league, I think in the first couple days I got Rakiata's Flow. I think I paid 12 div for it, which a lot of people thought was expensive at the time because nobody really had anything. But then, like within like 24 hours, it shot up to like 24 div or 20 div. So we need to get ahead of those prices as best we can. Hopefully we get a nice diamond in here. not a closed helm, not a knight armor, not a stellar amulet, diamond. Hopefully a good diamond too. One that we don't have to like guess on the price of because it doesn't fucking exist and nobody actually wants it. Yeah, I'll also be really excited with the switching to PC is using overlays to price things much quicker. Stuff like that will really speed up things as well as probably make me more money, since like some stuff like I think is maybe worth something, but I don't even want to deal with taking the time to price it, and I just don't even fuck with it. So I think some of that stuff's going to be really nice. Some of those features. Also, like if I'm following a build or something like that, being able to follow it like kind of directly without having to like check the check my laptop or whatever, like just having it up in another tab or something. Also, I've asked a few people and they've told me that Steam is the way to go versus the standalone client. Not sure how much that is going to matter, but if anyone has any preference or recommendation, let me know. Just because I have no idea what the like benefit of either would be over the other. But I assume that there's some reason people were recommending Steam. I heard some people say that like it's better to do standalone client because it like supports them more, but if there's any like performance things, I definitely want to prioritize those. I mean, I'd love to make sure I help GGG out with their finances and everything, but not at the expense of performance. There. Last 3 waves here. I'll take a short bathroom break. We'll be back to running maps probably. Still think most valuable thing I've dropped in here is Dialia's Desire, which was 15 div at the time. Of course, at its height it was like 30 div or plus. But still think my favorite drop in Simulacrum this league was dropping 2 Divine at once and having it 2 Divine on the same line, not drop 2 separate Divine. I don't know why, but that just made me excited. Like that Vol Orb was just X2 Vol Orb. X2 Divine looked real cool. For me, it's just killing everything quickly. I don't get hit that much. So I was getting hit a lot earlier in the build and knocked off the Roa, and that was like how I was dying the most. So pretty much what I did. Oh, a diamond, nice. So pretty much what I did until I had the ability to like kill everything very, very quickly was I just would dismount the Roa if I was in like a situation where I knew I would get knocked off of it, and then I would just yeah, that was just kind of how I dealt with it. I used them as a meat shield to defend me. Yeah. Um, I don't think I have anything that's going to be like increased stun threshold actually on my character that I can remember. Let me see. Yeah, I don't have anything for stun threshold really. It's mostly just evasion and trying to kill things as far as I can off screen. Um, yeah, I think it's a squishy build too, you know? It's one reason I hope it doesn't get nerfed too hard. I think people overrate how good the build is. It's a good build, no lie, but it's got plenty of blind spots. Let's see what we get. What is this? It's probably not worth much, but we will check out the trade site for this one. Allocates Eldritch Will. But yeah, a lot of it is just, it's also speed, being able to be really fast, really strong, killing things very far off screen helps with that. Never stopping, you know, that's one of the big ones. Will. What's the other one? Reaching Strike. Just put it up for a couple of div and see if it sells.
Yes?
Put it up for 5 and we'll just drop it every day. Doesn't really matter too much at this point, but cool, we did get a diamond out of it. I'm trying to think if there's any like secret to not getting yeah, definitely do what you can to try to get like some rarity on your gear, even if it's just running a golden charm. That can like not even this golden charm, just like a basic golden charm, and just put a lot of rare monsters on your map is a good way. Rare monsters, rarity on your maps. Before I got any rarity on my gear though, I just ran a lot of rarity on my maps because it's cheap. Like getting Liquid Greed is pretty cheap, though I will say that these omens have gone up in price quite significantly, so it makes it a little bit harder to do. But yeah, as much rarity as you can spare is best. And then once you hit like a certain threshold, when you're in your maps, if it looks like you're getting like 230, 250 rarity, then do the rest in rare monsters. I use on my when I roll maps, I'll roll these ones right now for you actually, so you'll be able to see how I roll them at least. Let me make sure. So make sure that they are all 0 revives. Then we go and we get these omens.
These are pretty like I said, but these are pretty expensive. They used to be like 1-to-1 with a Chaos Orb. Now they're like, I don't know, 7-to-1 or 3-to-1. It's kind of expensive. Geez, 4-to-1 there. Or 3.5, I should say.
I'll fill that in as soon as
So I pull, oh, what the hell? Oh, damn. Okay, so I have 3, so I need 7. Let's see. Okay. I run these. Activate. Make sure these are all 0 revives, so I don't mess one up. Okay. Now they all have high item rarity on them. Then I go over to, I'm gonna need a little bit more delirium, I think. Like the paranoias. And these here. Or I'm missing exalts. Just to take up space in the inventory. Then we use the greed. And then we just run 2 paranoia and a greed on each of them. For whatever reason, this is just a good balance for my specific character. I feel like when you're around, you know, I'm around 130 some gear rarity without the golden charm, over 150 with it. This is a good mix, but like I could foresee if you have like 100 or less gear rarity, you could consider doing 2 rarity, 2 liquid greeds. Or you could even consider using a ritual tablet for rarity instead. I personally think that rare monster ritual tablets are the way to go for that though, because they give you just such a big, you can get a pretty big boost to your rare monsters, so it's kind of worth it. I mean, you could get a big boost to your rarity too, so you kind of gotta balance a little bit and try it out for yourself, but rare monsters rarity is kind of my sweet spot. Let's see here. Now let's look for our tablets. Let's go with this one, 36% rare monsters on this irradiated tablet. You don't want a irradiated tablet to make sure that you're increasing the monster level of the map. What's this? That's not shit. I don't think I've ever dropped those. Interesting. Okay, now we need breach tablets. You want ones with additional rare monsters and breaches. With 2 additional rare monsters. We can have these at 32% monsters. Yikes, it's getting expensive, but what are you gonna do? There's not too much you can do. Just gotta pay the troll toll. It's pretty expensive to juice like this, but overall I just got like 10 divine and 10 maps, so not 10 raw drops, but 10 over 10 divine in value from the 10 maps, so still worth it by a long shot. But yeah, I've got a farming guide video. It's not like a universal farming guide, but it's what works for me. In this build, other builds have trouble with it. Like using those omens is pretty hard because you have less recovery rate of life and energy shield. So if you're running like a spark blood mage, it's pretty much undoable
I won't say totally undoable, but people have a hard time justifying it, really. Because it's such a high probability that they're going to kill themselves from the cost of their attacks being taken from their life. Or if they, hey, what's up, Voight? How you doing today? How's your weekend going? Oh yeah, just the standard lightning arrow Deadeye, just min-maxed into the ground at this point. Not too many more things that I could actually purchase for it, other than like potentially a better bow. But even then, it's kind of like splitting hairs. Still might buy a better bow though. Just because you can't take your currency into the next league anyway, so. Then again, it's like I don't touch standard anyway, so like there's absolutely no reason to like puff up this build anymore just so I can sit in standard. I usually delete my builds after, like they sit in standard for one league, then I'll delete them. Like, so I would delete this one at like 0.5. Bruh. I'm telling you, this game has totally removed Ancient Bones. At least from my client, from the PlayStation client. There's that Perfect Jewelers. Ugh. Yeah, it's pretty smooth. It's pretty easy. It's pretty easy to gear. Right? Yeah. Well, I don't know. You probably can handle it. This isn't handling it super well. I would say that this is not actually handling it. It's pretty laggy. I'm running this on a PlayStation. There are definitely times, but you know what? That's the thing is that's why we get stronger. We get stronger and we just hold our attack button, and then it deals with the lag for us by killing everything around. But yeah, I'm actually going to be switching over to PC in the next week or so. I just got a PC, one of these Black Friday deal PCs, so we'll be setting that up in the next few days. New league will definitely be started on the new PC. Hopefully we won't have too many issues. Honestly, I don't think so. Until they release it for full release, I think we'll get like a sweeping optimization sort of patch or something before it goes into full release. I think whenever they do these like free weekends, like with each league, that they're kind of like stress testing and they're kind of like gathering all the data that they're going to need, and hopefully they can just make all those changes at once towards the end. But we'll see. Definitely makes the PlayStation sound like a B-52 bomber though at times. They could also just do things like we might get, like I know a lot of people have been asking for it. They want to be able to like there's not a full release date. I think a lot of people are. There's some speculation that we're gonna get a full release date with the next patch. Because like originally they wanted to be in early access for 1 year. They wanted just 1 year beta, but obviously that's not the case. But like if you kind of like look at the cadence of how they've released the classes and the acts, that we could hit that date by next league or by next year. So it'd be like December, is what a lot of people are thinking. December 2026 for full release. And like they could potentially get it done earlier, but I think that like even if they got it done earlier, like say they got it done in August, like it's not like the best time to release a game is in August. Like June or July would be better, but if it's not ready for June or July, then they'd probably hold on to it till Christmas, just because the amount of people playing would just be much better. That's just sort of a speculation, but I think it's rooted in some pretty common game release theory. Oh my god, see that's how the game reacts whenever there's too much shit on the screen for me. But we just keep holding in that button, man. Everything dies. I mean, Greater Chaos is okay. I'll take a Greater Chaos. But I think that we could probably get the release by next year. Assuming that, like, so if they do three classes per that we need 3 more classes, we need 2 more acts. You can assume that one of the classes will come with the release, as well as, or it's 4 classes, 2 acts. I'm assuming the last act will be released sometime more towards the middle of the year, either with 0.5 or 0.6. And that the next build will be released, you know, we'll probably get 2 more builds this year, and then with the full release we'll get an act and a build, which is usually something that they wouldn't do, but I think it's such a bit, you know, for a full release, I think they'll do it. And then that'll put us at a point where we'd probably end up with like 2 more builds to go, and I don't think that they're going to release the game with all the builds ready. I think that it's going to be like maybe like 10 of the 12 builds will be ready, and then we'll put like 2 builds in throughout the first year to keep people playing. So like I could imagine like right now we need yeah, still a way to go, but there's a lot of room to grow though still, you know. I know that they want to make sure that they can live up to the expectations. Whenever the game went into early access, I think they sold like over 1 million early access keys. So like it's going to be really highly anticipated. So like, you know, don't want to release anything half-baked. It's going to be like, it's really going to, I mean, it's already kind of taken over the ARPG scene in a lot of ways. You know, you've got the Diablo holdouts, but other than that, everything else is kind of in its shadow. But assumedly we're going to get, you know, we're going to get Druid next. Then we've got, what's next? We have Templar, we've got Assassin, we've got Marauder, we've got Duelist. Those are the other 4 classes. I don't know what order we're going to get them in, but a lot of people are really anticipating Templar. So like for me, I kind of think that one will be held off until full release. That'll be like the full release one. And I think we'll get Duelist, so that they can get swords into the game, because swords are kind of a big deal. It's kind of hard to release, you know, dark fantasy ARPG to the masses without having swords in it. And then something like Marauder and Assassin will be something that comes with Yeah, those are all the. I'm pretty sure those are all the confirmed classes. I don't think they've like necessarily they're the confirmed names for them. I know that some people refer to Assassin as Shadow because that's what it's called in PoE 1. They could come up with different names, but I think that's what people are mostly suspecting, and they're suspecting it based off of like what weapons haven't been released. So like swords are going to go with Duelist, so it might not be called Duelist, it might be called something else. Marauders or what axes are associated with. Daggers for Shadow or Assassin potentially, I guess is what the people are suspecting it to be called. So like loosely confirmed. But yeah, and I think that we'll probably get a new act. If not in, what is it, April, then August. Um, I'd like to think it's April though, because I don't think they want to do like we got Act 4 in August. I don't think they want to wait a whole year for the next one and then have only 4-month cycle to potentially get the last act in. And I know that they want to release with full access with all the acts. Personally, I'd like to see some of the weapons released like not necessarily associated with the class. Like I'd like to see swords like this league, but I think that there's just kind of a low chance of that happening. The more I think about it, because if you think about it, like it's not just like a weapon that gets released, like it's a weapon that gets released with all the skill gems, right? So like they would not only be releasing a new weapon, they'd be releasing like 20 skills or something that are associated directly with it, and obviously support gems that might also support it. That'll also have to function with the other weapons. So I don't necessarily see that as being like high likelihood. I wouldn't be surprised though. They have mentioned in like interviews that they're surprised at how far they've made it making the game without having things like swords in there, which is a good fair point as well. But like it's just a matter of like what you like if you think about it, like these expansions, these updates are already pretty massive, so like kind of doling them out kind of evenly is probably like for the best. Okay, I think 04 is going to be absolutely, it's going to be bigger than 03 by a pretty long shot, pretty big long shot as far as like the actual adjustments that get made. The things like I think that 03 was big to get like an act. I think acts are always big, but like you don't play an act every day. So this is going to have a lot of endgame stuff that changes, that it's going to have implications on what people do every day in the game. Yeah, I'm not even sure if I'd consider it like balancing it at this point. Like they balance it for sure, but like it's kind of like based. I feel like it's like, they put stuff into the game. Some stuff is overpowered. They nerf that shit into the ground, and they nerf it into the ground because, not because it's just too powerful, but because they want people to make sure that people play the other classes. Because then if they play the other classes, then they could make something else that's overpowered in those classes. And then they could sort of come to like a consensus of like where the power level has to be. I don't think that they've necessarily even found that yet at all. It's kind of like chasing all the problems, But yeah, right now this build's definitely gonna get nuked a little bit next league. That's why I haven't switched and like started playing anything else, because it's such a fun build. It's gonna be really sad when it's no longer viable. I don't even think it's gonna be viable in standard or anything. Like I think everything about it's gonna get nuked. So like The only thing that might stick around, like if when they nuke this build, is like they're gonna nuke like I think they're gonna definitely nuke the constricting command helmet, as well as like some of the like lightning rod and lightning. Yeah, I think. Well, I mean, like I think it's not necessarily like like lightning directly. I think it will. I think lightning arrow will take a DPS nerf. I think that lightning rod will take a DPS nerf, and I think that constricting command helmet's gonna get nerfed. Yeah, and like, but I don't think that they're gonna like nerf lightning itself to being not viable. I think that I think the answer to that, to like lightning being too powerful as an element, is to make the other elements more powerful. I don't think they have enough going for them to make them worthwhile. Like even if they nerf lightning by 25%. Of like, it's just like across the board, every lightning skill gets a 25% nerf. I still don't think it's good enough to make people not want to play lightning. Like I still think it would out DPS and out benefit like fire and cold. Because it's not 25% better than those. It's like 100% better than all those things. Those things just need a serious buff. They need like benefit to it too. Like I think that like if you ignite an enemy, like fire damage should ignite more often. When you ignite something, it should like spread to other enemies a lot easier. I think that would be a big, yeah, it's not bad. It's garbage, but not bad. I think that would be like a helpful thing for fire. I think that cold should have. Cold doesn't need like a huge damage increase, but I think it needs like a benefit to, like, I think that like enemies around frozen enemies should slow down, because like you just have such a benefit with like lightning chaining to other things, and also the ability to like use lucky, make attacks lucky or whatever. That it negates most of the issues. With lightning having like low rolls. They just need to find a way to make the other stuff a lot better. Especially Chaos. I think Chaos is like... Chaos and Fire are the two things I think that need the biggest boost. I feel like Cold needs a boost, but it's also like Cold freezes things. That's, really good in the campaign. They just need to like give it a nice little buff for viability in the end game. I don't want to do Iron Citadel yet. I gotta use different stuff for that. Different waystones and different precursors. What do we got over here? Anything good? Canyon. But who knows? I just assume that they're gonna take the axe to this build as it is. If nothing else, just so it's not as popular. They don't want... Like, I think it's like 26% of people are playing this build. And it's like 16% of people are playing Spark Blood Mage. So you can just assume that those things are going to get absolutely whacked, because over 40% of the player base is playing them. And it's hard for them to balance the game, or even consider balancing the game, if people aren't playing other things. But again, like that a lot of times comes with they need to buff other things to make them more enticing. They can't keep nerfing everything though. They can't just nerf things though, because just nerfing things isn't going to make chaos damage at the Acolyte of Cheula viable. If Chaos gets some serious buffs, it'll definitely be like kind of at the top of my list for things to play. I might even still do a quick little campaign run with like an ED Contagion Lich, just because I haven't actually played Lich since it was introduced. I did a Hollow Palm Monk last week. Went through the campaign, and that was really strong. If they introduce, because like we're also like kind of expecting them to potentially release some Ascendancies this league. If they release like the Monk Ascendancy or some of the original Ascendancies aren't out there, which are Monk, Ranger, Huntress, and Enchantress. Those ones do not have their third Ascendancies yet. If we get like a Monk Ascendancy, it's like Martial Artist, which I think is what people are assuming it is. And that does a lot to support the Hollow Palm. That'll be really, really awesome. Hollow Palm was extraordinarily strong when I played it. And albeit I did start it off with like a decent quarterstaff to get me to the point where I could get to the Hollow Palm. Once we hit Hollow Palm, it was just slicing through everything. It was also really easy to gear up. Basically just need evasion on your gear, high evasion, resistance, and high evasion, resistance, and like an energy shield helmet. Those are like kind of the only real requirements. But yeah, I pretty much shredded. By the end of the campaign, I was doing like 20k-ish damage. Whenever I was like cooking in like a boss fight or in like a big mob scenario. So that's up there. It was just a little squishy. It was a little squishy. A lot of people have said that they had mana issues with it, but I lucked out and I reforged, crunched a lot of gems, and I ended up with a 2% mana on kill gem. So I don't really think that it's actually that much of a mana hog. It just, you just need that gem, which is common. Almost every build that uses mana for attacking frequently needs a mana on kill gem. Or something like that, mana leech. So yeah, I think that's up there with. Also, like I think it's like Ritualist has a really good access to the same nodes for Hollow Palm. And that's really good because it's got the 2 rings, so you can really boost damage, and you could also boost your rarity, especially if you're running like Ingenuity and stuff like that. You got a 3rd ring. So those are kind of high on my list right now. Lich, Hollow Palm, either Ritualist or Monk, and then Druid, of course. Like, of course I'm looking at the Druid. And the Druid might just be it. It might just end up caving and doing a Druid like everyone else. Just because, like, whenever a class is first released, generally speaking, they're fucking broken. And they're not going to nerf it mid-league because they don't want to piss everyone off. And so it'll be like the only chance you get to really have like the super broken-ass fucking Druid, potentially. Oh, come on, man. Do I gotta go back to the beginning? Sometimes you have to coax these assholes out. Oh my god. He's gonna like jump scare me when he finally does come out of the air. Sometimes you got. There he is. Evasion, fire damage, leech. Yeah, I'd really like to see Chaos get a big buff. That would be like my #1 thing that would excite me for Philly, because I've wanted to do. I mean, I feel like that the Chaos Lich should be way more powerful than it is. It's not bad. It's really good in campaign. Really good in campaign. Drops off at the end game. It's still decently strong in the end game. It's just really slow. Hard to justify running, and like being able to farm lot. You can't really farm very well with it. Oh shit! What do I got? Oh, I got the abyss right there. That's why. It's kind of hard to justify like farming with something as slow as that goes. But I do love ED Contagion. I do love. I wish like things like Hex Blast were better. Maybe they'll give us a new skill or something. Yeah, I'd recommend going to the new league. I mean, for the most part, like, so like if you still have work to do on them, especially because like if you have like, so like everything's going to be more expensive in standard because people are going over there with all their currency. So like if I got sent over there, if I just kept grinding for the rest of this league, I would end up going over there with like 600 div, and like if there's anything I need, I just just swing that around, and there's other people who have thousands of divine. So like just the economy's kind of jacked up, in my opinion, over there. I think it's just you also won't like necessarily get the full benefit of the new leagues. Like I think you'll get Druid over there, but you won't get necessarily, I think, like the league mechanic or something like that. Like there's stuff that kind of gets left out. So I'm a big fan of just sticking with the whatever the new league is, especially if you're still building. Because if you're still building a character, everything's gonna get really expensive, unless you're sitting on like a fat amount of divine. Just to give an idea, like I recently, earlier this league, left a guild, but the guild that I was in, we had somewhere around 230 members, and I think we maybe had 6 people that played standard. So like it's also just like not where everyone else is going to be playing. Yeah, see going into standard with 2 div is like you're basically playing SSF at that point because you're not going to be able to afford very much. At least as far as like best in slot gear. Whereas like the new league, whenever it starts, if you get like a good head start, you're kind of on like a new level. You're at a level playing field, And realistically speaking, you can always go back to standard. Like if you were playing the new league and you just wanted to go back to your old characters, you could always just jump back into standard. But I think that getting a head start in the new league is your best bet. And especially in a new league, like anything, like any little thing can really like turn it around, like to a certain degree. I say that a lot, kind of ironically. But like for instance, like whenever this league started, within the first couple days, like I was just like crafting like boots, like slamming them, like nothing, not like specifically like crafting them because I'm good at crafting. And I ended up with a pair of boots that was like 35% movement speed, and they had really good evasion rolls to the point where they had like 550 evasion, and I sold them for like 20 div on like one of the first couple days, and that basically outfitted my build for like quite a long time. Like it got me ahead of the market. I was able to get like, good bow, good quiver, Rakiata's flow, all these things that ended up shooting up on the market price. I wouldn't say that. Like, so it's going to be an expensive build because everyone's playing it. Sure. I think that if you actually think about it and like this build was very expensive because everyone was playing it too, right? But like, I think that one, if you get ahead of things, you get lucky with a couple things, that kind of pays for a lot. But also, there's a lot more hand-me-downs that can kind of sustain you until you're able to, because like if there's a really strong druid build, you could probably get by clearing all the content with like not necessarily best in slot gear while you work on getting all that best in slot gear. Truth is that all endgame builds are pretty expensive once you get to the point where you're like, and even if they're not, like you can sometimes clear all the content with kind of a cheaper build. But then, like, once you get to that point, you're either going to, like, abandon that build and start something new, or you're going to be looking to buy best in slot gear, which is going to be expensive anyway. So, like, it's kind of relative. I personally don't mind just grinding and trying to make a better build. I think that's, like, part of the fun of it for me, though. So yeah, I think that, like, it'll be expensive, but I think that, like, it depends. It depends on, like, what people end up, like, pointing to in terms of what's good. Like, a lot of gear that might be good for the druid might end up being, like, relatively common and easy gear, kind of like with the in the first league in 0.1 we had Tempest Flurry Gemling, which was super popular. And, like, yes, like, getting, like, an Astramantis was expensive, but, like, stat stacking otherwise wasn't super crazy price. Like, you could pretty much have gotten everything else, you know, in a mid-range of affordability outside of Astramantis, and then you're, like, and things like the 0.1 Pillar of the Cage God with 0.1 Hoa, you can pretty much that stuff could carry, could carry you through most of the league. So I don't think that, like, I think, like, if you're looking at always best in slot gear, everything's going to be expensive. Every build's expensive. If you look at, like, off meta builds too, like, a lot of people will run off meta builds, and a lot of those are just really crazy expensive because, if the skills aren't good, like, the only way to support them is with, like, really, really crazy good gear. So, I don't know. I think that things costing too much is kind of it's a common sentiment, but I don't think it's exactly always correct. Like, this build cost me a shit ton. This build, we're probably in the thousands of divine at this point. But it's been over the course of the whole league, Slow upgrades on things, get a good deal here and there, craft some stuff that you get pretty cheaply. Like, for most of the league, like, I bought, good rings, I bought good amulets and everything, but, like, for a lot of the league, I used a bow that I crafted, gloves that I crafted, boots that I crafted, a chest piece I crafted. And only when I was, like, actually, like, crushing the farming and crushing the currency stacking did I really start to drop the money into it. As long as you can make the build viable, realistically. If you can make the build viable for a fair price, then I think that it's worth it. I think Druid's going to be expensive, but I think at this point, like, I've made a few expensive builds, so I'm not too worried about it. That was kind of like my reason not to do it originally. Like, if you heard me maybe discuss it 2 weeks ago, I was saying, like, I didn't want to do it because it was going to be really expensive. But I've kind of, like, come to terms with the fact that everything's going to be expensive, especially just my tastes. My tastes are always to get, like, best in slot gear eventually. But, like, I feel like, you get better at, like, sort of doing that. Like, for instance, like, the golden charm that I use, the cat golden charm, it's like, it was originally, like, 300 divine, but, like, now it's, like, 180 or something. Maybe it's even less than that. And, like, the first golden charm I got was, like, the owl, and it was, like, 60 divine. And then I got the wolf, and it was, like, 75, 80 divine. And then I got a stag, which was, like, 150 divine. And then I sold each one as I, like, upgraded. So, like, I don't know. Just having, like, a good strat on how you're going to progress through your gear and through the game, I think, is also kind of takes some level of, like, experience and playing expensive builds. I think if you, like, get to a point where you can just clear content and then you just don't play the build anymore, that you don't actually, like, figure that out, like, how to fund a big expensive build. I think that's almost, like, part of the game in itself. You know, in a lot of builds like this build, like if you're following like the FUB gun guides or whatever, like he also he's his builds are really well laid out to the point where they have like everything prioritized, like what gear you should prioritize. So like following things like that, you know where to put the right. Yeah, I mean, it's it's a learning curve. You know, you you kind of gotta. Well, I mean, like, and that's also like if the druid is the most expensive build, you'll know what the 70 div item is because it'll probably be an item for the druid. So you'll probably know what it is as long as you keep up to date on what people are using. That's something I definitely learned from this build is that like crafting gear for this build, it was like hard because it's like a saturated market, but it's also like you know what the expensive stuff is, more early on than other builds. Like I think this like Rakiata's flow would look like it was something that was going to be expensive no matter what. But I feel like this build was like the first one that people were like jumping on it for their lightning arrow build. So like you kind of learn a lot of that stuff as you go. If you're playing some sort of budget build or like some sort of how do I know it's an expensive item? Well, if you're talking like a rare, I mean, usually I look at like if I tend to just focus on like my build mostly. So like I will try to get like if I buy and sell stuff, a lot of it is stuff that's going to be for my build. Like I know that like so like I have a friend who's very good at this, who's much better at that type of stuff than me. Like and he was like spending a lot of the early league like crafting good crossbows and things like that, and I was like I don't know shit about crossbows. I still don't know shit about crossbows, but I know it's in a good bow, and I know it's in a good like chess piece, like chess pieces and stuff like that, kind of general. So like I don't know, you just kind of like learn what everyone else has to use. Basically, if it's something that no other build needs, it has no value. Like even like you could have a bunch of tier 1 affixes, but if they're not tier 1 affixes that people need, or you're missing like the key tier 1 affix, like if you have a really good wand, it looks really good, but it doesn't have like +4 lightning skills or +5 lightning skills or whatever, then it's like kind of worthless to those types of people. So sometimes it's just worth taking the time to learn about what the other like top builds are using, like what are the most popular builds, because it's a supply and demand issue really. So like if you're not playing the most popular build, you should learn what the most popular builds are using. Like take the time to go on their build guides, go on their stuff like that, and just try to figure it out from that. Okay, we have Vaults of Kamasa, so we're gonna roll a different map for that. Yeah, that can negate a lot of the guesswork. And like a lot of times it's like new items, new super OP items. Can be can have a high premium, especially like early in the league. Like or even like for instance like Headhunter is a huge item, right? But like once everyone gets one, there's like not a lot of reason for people to have like 5 of them or anything like that. People aren't like upgrading from their Headhunter to anything else. So like getting a Headhunter early in the league is both beneficial for you, but also beneficial to sell. Like I've had 4 Headhunters, 3 drop, 1 chance. And the first one I dropped was worth 55 divine. The other ones came later in the league, and I sold them between like 5 and 8 divine. So like they ended up like going quite down in price from there. So certain items, especially like uniques, have a tendency to sort of crater in value over time. unless they're like super best in slot. Like if you get an exceptional pair of Thunder Fists with like perfect crit on them and stuff like that, you know, those are going to always beg a lot of money. Okay, so we're gonna run this for the Vaults of Kamasa here. Let's go. But yeah, for me, I tend to just stick to like what are the expensive items for my build, try to learn how to craft those items. Assuming that my build is a popular build. And usually I stick to something that's pretty popular. I don't go like super off meta. Because a lot of those builds are expensive too. And they're not as good often enough. Spent a lot of money on a shitty build. Been there. Been there with warriors. I made a lot of warriors that have been very expensive to outfit. That are pretty much useless at a certain point. Though I have heard good things about Shield Wall this league. Okay, let's go. It's our rarity, 433 rarity. It's pretty good. Let's see if it matters. Did get a divine last time, which is quite nice, but we'll see. We'll see if luck's on my side today. Bunch of crap. Okay, one more half of this place. Hey! Is that what I think it is? Look at that, guys. Out of a fucking Vault of Kamasa. With a max stun threshold, too? Like, I mean, that's fucking huge, guys. I don't know what they're going for now. That's my second Kaom's Heart this league. First one I got out of a strongbox. That's a huge drop, though. Wonder what they're going for. I can't wait till I switch over to PC next week and I am able to just overlay to find out what something is worth. Use an overlay. I don't even know how an overlay works. Such a console noob. I mean, like, it's not gonna change what drops, but like, cuts out a lot of the bullshit visually. Like, you could, like, generally speaking, nothing, like, not all of my tink drops like that one are super valuable. Like, there's some things that, drop that are worth less. Because over time they just drop in price, or they're, they never end up like living up to the value that people expect that the filter creator decided. Like, you could always create your own filters too. But usually there's nothing that's going to drop on my filter. Nothing's going to show up on my filter that's like, or there's nothing that's going to be hidden by my filter that's worth a lot. So like, I think to that degree, they're helpful. Oop. Let's see. Let's look up the price on that. Looking at a non-corrupted. I mean, at least 5 div. I'll take 5 div. Oh, show. Let's see. But yeah, I got one earlier this league and it was like 20 div. 22, I think, at the time. So just the prices are cratering for, like I said, prices crater for uniques because once you get what you want, you don't need another one. I mean, 7%, that's not bad. What's the one that I have? 6.62, so that's better than that. I don't know why I'm collecting that, honestly. No problem, you have a great rest of your day. See you around. Just quality it up just to sex it up for somebody.
I'll post it right away. Is that a good price for that? I have no idea.
Big money. It's honestly why we're playing at this point, just for the fun tinks. Dropping that out of a vault is pretty awesome. Oh. But yeah, it was an exciting drop, guys. Give me 1 second here. Pull back, chat back up on my laptop. Yeah, 2 Kaom's hearts for the league. Still some items I haven't seen drop yet. That I'd like to see. That aren't like... That should be like less rare than that. Tabula Rasa. I haven't dropped one of those, and I haven't dropped a ring of, or the, what was it, Kalandra ring. I'd like to drop both of those at some point, but at this point not sure it's gonna happen this league. Pretty late in the game at this point. I mean, I've owned the Kalandra's ring earlier in the league. Used it. Bought it for like 12 div at the time, but now have not dropped one. And you can't chance it or anything, so it's kind of what I want to see it, why I want to see it drop. Alright, everyone be sure to hit that like button on this live stream. See if we can get more people in here. Also, subscribe if you're not. We're going to have a lot more fun stuff happening going into the next league. We're kind of in a holding pattern, just farming for fun at this point. But also more content will start to come out with the new league as well. Start to see I'll make guides and reviews on techniques and things like that, as well as reviews on builds and stuff as I go through and try other things. So be sure to subscribe to get all that content. Mostly PoE 2 here, not too much PoE 1. Though I did try out the most recent PoE 1 league. Not quite for me, but doesn't mean I won't give it another shot coming up in the future. Oh! Damn! Got a little body block there. That was unfortunate. Unfortunate. These things happen. Alright, keep going. Let's go grab another amelioration though. Probably wiped out my day of progress, but who even cares at this point?
Let's see if there are any takers.
Not me. Yeah, I think we're still a couple percent for the day. Could be worse. Do this sand spit. I like me a sand spit. Hopefully that chest plate sells pretty quick. By tomorrow at least. I don't even know if build uses that. I know at least one build will use it, but I don't remember who it is. Feels like it should be a warrior. Or maybe it's fucking blood mage or some shit. I don't know. Do not know enough about that build. There we go. Look at that. That's why you gotta hit all those fractured mirrors, guys. They got gold. There's gold in them hills. Guys have seen me drop like probably close to 20 divine today. Not even through 20 maps. In just a few hours too. When the new league comes and I'm really stacking currency and I'm farming like all day, I'll farm for like freaking 10 hours and I'll get like 50 plus divine. Usually earlier in the league we'll start with something with different strategies. So you'll be able to see the progression of how we choose our strategies. Like usually early in the league we don't have like the full ability to do these super juiced out maps because they're just, you know, you need a lot more good gear, you need to be a lot stronger of a build. So usually we'll do something like essence farming or strongbox farming. I like essence farming early, it's pretty easy. Essence of Horrors always go for a lot early in the league. So we'll do stuff like that, essence farming. Keep the difficulty a little bit lower. You can even do that without delirium, still get good results. And then progress slowly towards more juiced out maps once we get more, get the means to do it. Alright, let's hit this. I guess we gotta clear out some of these center areas here. Okay, I don't think we're gonna get much going. Just trying to go across, so we'll go down. Let's go across now. Oh, no, not enough time. Not bad though. Cleared probably like 90% of it. To deal with this shitty boss. I hate this boss, man. He fucking burrows immediately. Do I? Okay, activate my amelioration. Okay. That was kind of dangerous, actually. That electric simulacrum, bro. Just shooting off all those sparks in that little cove there, that little closed-in area. So we got over 340 div. Very nice. $340 when you consider the chaos and everything else that I've dropped. That like the Kaom's heart, that'll sell for 5, so we're at like 345 once everything sells. Probably a little bit more. And what do I got? 2 more maps. I'll pinnacle and finish it up. Not a fan of Sinkhole, not a fan of Ragosa, so we're just gonna stay away from those maps. Okay, with Spiderwood, we'll run Spiderwood. Yeah, good amount of divs. The Kaom's heart and a Omen of Light today. Nothing to sneer at. Follow me for financial advice, guys. Remember, guys, just 3.5 days, a little over 3.5 days now, and we'll be getting a whole lot of information revealed to us at the GGG live on Twitch. And then we're gonna, after that, we'll go over everything in the patch notes here on this channel. So be sure to watch your favorite streamers over on Twitch to get those sweet Twitch drops if you want them. And stop over here and we will talk about the patch notes and such like that. Give me your takes on it. I'm interested to see what everyone else thinks about the whole, everything that's going to be revealed. And talk about what we're thinking about league starting. Maybe what other content creators builds are going to be looking kind of interesting that you're going to follow. Yeah, I'm always got my ear to the ground to see what other people are talking about doing. At least at the beginning of the league. Once the league starts, I actually stop paying attention to a lot of that. I'm like pretty bad at following like what other builds are doing and what other builds pop up for like at least the first week of the league. So I'm gonna need y'all in here to let me know it looks good. Still no Ancient Bones, guys. We've run hundreds of maps and not gotten an Ancient Bone. Convinced that they don't exist anymore. I'm convinced they nerfed the drop rates because they're too powerful. According to them. They like to say everything's too powerful though. Oh, fun detected. Let's nerf it. Okay, not too many monsters left. I mean, we'll unveil the map up here. I'm sure they are. Okay, that's pretty much everything. We got at least one rare. Let's see where this guy says it is. Probably an underground one. Maybe. Maybe just something I missed. Something that survived. Oh no, there he is. He's a survivor. Okay. Give me that splinter. Let's see, one more map. What are we gonna choose? Springs? I like Steaming Springs. Don't mind Bastille. Don't associate it with it being super valuable. Epitaph is the worst on the planet. We'll do this one. You know, what are the actual like, what's the use of these? Granted. Oh, 10%. And all those declines objects. I didn't know that. Didn't know that at all. Guess we'll do that. One second here. Oof. Okay. Back in the saddle again. It's definitely one of those maps where I feel like it's better to clear everything first before you hit those breaches, so you don't run into too many dead ends or anything like that. Oh, okay. That feels like a mistake. These things usually drop nothing, but why not? I was expected. Nothing of interest. I wish there was a way to juice them. Bunch of crap. Literal just crap. 2 breaches at least, that'll be nice. Just kill the boss real quick. Dropped me a Barria. You shouldn't have. You normally don't do Trials of Sekima, but did do a couple streams this league a few weeks ago running them. It was pretty fun. Not the most profitable, but pretty fun. Divine. If you're here for the dopamine, I got you. The dopamine of that tank, I got you guys. Don't you worry about it. I got all the tinks you need. Follow me for financial advice. Look away for 1 second. Or we'll just run into a wall. Let's do this. Let's run our breaches. It's time to run the breaches. Pull up your breeches, guys. We're doing breaches. Okay. I literally didn't know those obelisks of cleansing did anything positive. I thought they probably just hurt you or something. But I'm the expert. Okay, we got one more. Where is it? It's over here. Okay, get all those splinters so we can get another div off of Zesht. Oh, we got 2 more breaches. Oh, we only had 2. Guess I was wrong. I know like the mounting greed is supposed to be like pretty decent for rarity, but like I never really got anything great out of it. I think nothing like substantially great. I guess I've dropped a few div in the mounting greed maps, but right. Oh, what's this breach ring? Is it a whitey? No, it's not a white one. Pretty garbage, actually. Pretty much crap. literally picking up that Lazuli ring because like I've dropped that thing, like I've dropped them like a million times, and for some reason I can't remember what they're called. Glow Swarm. Got it. Now, more you know. Gotta know everything. Gotta be the expert. Okay, nothing else that map. We did get a div. Can't be upset with that. Snakebite bracers. I feel like those were more popular early in the league, maybe. Only one worthy. Garbage. Yep. So we need one Delirium Splinter.
I'll post it right away.
We need 73 Breach Splinters.
I'll post it right away.
Okay. Let's run the Zesh. Switch over to Delib. Love finishing up with a few pinnacles. They need to make this more dense, honestly. With the higher the tier of Zesh, these should be a lot more dense. Man, I hope we get like big, strong Uber bosses going into the next patch. Just like give them like 5 times the health, 10 times the health. I don't care. Give me something to fight. Like, I'm cool with this level, like, especially for, like, you know, earlier in the league and everything, but by the time I'm doing this much damage, it just feels like, ugh. I think you could give them better rewards. I think that'd be 10 out of 10 change we can hope for. I don't think it's too unlikely either. Like, I don't know all what they're expecting to change, but having some stronger boss encounters, I think, is only a positive. Whenever you have like builds that can carry 6-man parties through pinnacles and just melt them. It's definitely a sign that you can throw in some higher, some bosses with some more health, bigger health pools. Anything I don't want? Nope, everything good. Let's fuck up. Okay. Squish him. Drop him. Give him a loot. I don't think that's worth anything, but you know. Okay. On to the next. It's still cool to get a lineage support gem. Don't want to seem ungrateful. Like Doriani. Fucking ingrate. Gold is useless to me. Take it. Bruh. Calm down. Mm-hmm. It would be cool if maybe like the Uber bosses, instead of like necessarily like, I mean, give them more health, give them like at least twice as much health from the tier 3s, but like if they each had like a second phase, like all of them have second phases actually, now that I'm thinking about it, except for Zesht. It'd be cool if Zesht had a second phase. Okay, that's that. Your bro's cooked. Easy. Yeah, ritual precursor tablet. At least that's worth like 35 exalt or 35 chaos. That's money. Speaking of money, some. It's on it. Okay, so I'll just put it in here. Main shop.
I'm sure someone
Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Little stuff that's been in there for a while. Keep it clean. Anything good here? Nope. And I'm not into recombinating shit anyway. Not today, Satan. Yep. Now we'll do Simulacrum to finish up. Love me some Simulacrum. Let's get some tinkage going on in here. Switch back to Nova. Another thing to like consider when they're talking about like nerfing this build is like, you know, it's obviously like going to be an overall DPS nerf, you know, but like I feel like things like Lightning Rod are going to get nerfed, but like Lightning Rod is a circumstantial boss killing thing. You use it for bosses. And like, you know, you need a way to substantially boost your damage going from white mobs and rare mobs even to bosses, especially in the campaign. In fact, what is, sorry, your stop is and everything, but 100% of physical damage to lightning, like maybe they cut that down? Maybe they cut down the amount of active arrows? Maybe the chance the additional burst on impact gets lowered. Just trying to think where the actually like the nerf comes from. Some things it's just I feel like it's hard to nerf them without totally invalidating them and making them like literally useless. At least as far as like nerfing the skill gem itself, like you could nerf a lot of gear and make things useless, but I don't see a lot of things with the lightning arrow that you're gonna nerf as far as gear goes that will invalidate it. Maybe certain supports, like elemental armament is basically used on everything. You can see elemental armament taking a hit, though it's also like I don't exactly see why. Or by how much. I have a weird feeling the beginning of this league will be kind of like a poverty league. Sort of like how the introduction of the Amazon was. I don't know why I feel that way. I just wouldn't be surprised if like a lot of the nerfs that they do just make it like harder to get shit. Like even this league, but also the previous league, like getting things like perfect jeweler's orbs and stuff was just so fucking hard. That like that was part of the poverty league part of it. Like level 20 skill gems. Not that they're level 20 skill gems are still pretty rare, but like wouldn't be surprised to see drop rates nerfed to a lot of items that are like kind of integral. Sort of slow people's progressions down. I think that's like a big part of why things get nerfed, is that people progress through the game so quickly that they quit early because they don't have anything else to do with their character. They might not be the person that wants to play 5 characters in a league. So cutting people's access down to like level 20 gems and
Stuff like that is just pretty... I feel like it might be a common thing we see at the beginning of each league, and then they adjust it later on. I still don't feel like it was necessarily adjusted for this league, at least not the fucking level 20 gems. I do not get a lot of level 20 gems. And I'll tell you what, the chances of getting a 21, I feel like are nothing. I must have done 20 and not gotten a single one to corrupt up. Of course, I'm doing the stupid way of corrupting a level 20, when in reality what you're supposed to do is corrupt a lower gem, and then engrave up and upgrade it. That's actually the smart way of doing things, but didn't realize that till this league actually, so spent a lot of money doing that. I did it whenever they were like kind of at their cheapest though, so. But still, kind of crazy the rarity of getting a 21. That could also be like a good strategy if it doesn't get nerfed. This league is corrupting 19s or 18s or 17s and then just upgrading them to 21s and selling them for a couple of div. It would be a smart thing. We'll see how smart I am now. But yeah, I foresee a lot of similar strategies for me going into the next league, which is early on do a lot of essence farming, looking for horrors and hysterias, and then I'll put other points into like shrines so that I'm just absolutely murdering my way through maps very quickly, looking for those essences. Essences will build up pretty quickly, and then I'll bulk sell them over at the currency exchange. That's what I did earlier this league, and it was quite beneficial. But I'm also interested to see if they make any comments on changes to how rarity works. If no changes to how rarity works, that strategy is probably still like a good early one. But I'm also going to try to like pay more mind to getting rarity on my gear earlier. Didn't really worry about rarity until I don't know, this last iteration of the build with the constricting command helmet and everything. Before that I was just kind of raw dogging it as far as rarity. Okay, last 5 waves. This is where the money is made. Switch over to back to Nova. So we got that 360 damage fucking going on. Yeah, I want to see buffs to Chaos, so Lich and Acolyte are better. Want to see buffs to Fire, so we can, you know, have Fire Warrior or some shit like that. Fire Enchantress as well. I'd like to see buffs to Enchantress in general. It's pretty useless as is. Problem with Enchantress is that every type of thing that you'd want to play, you can basically make it better with another type of class. So buffs to that would be fucking great. Love to see new ascendancies, especially if we can get Monk, Ranger, and Enchantress. If I had to pick 2, probably be, I don't know. I don't even know actually. Like I kind of have an idea of what to expect from Monk with the martial artist idea, but The other ones I really don't know. I'd like to see Monk get it though, since they already have Hollow Palm. It'd be nice to see Martial Artist to help support the Hollow Palm tech. If it's assuming that it's gonna have some stuff to do that. Could also set it apart from the Ritualist, which is also probably like, you know, as good or better as the Hollow Palm character. Build, character build, whatever. Two more waves. One more to go. Hey, isolation. And a divine, look at that. Could be worse. Closed tome, but we got an isolation and a divine. Very nice. Double tink. Crap. Alright guys, I think we're gonna call it there for the day. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Expect more news throughout the week, potentially more teasers from GGG. Check out the Twitch drops that they announced today, and Thursday we'll have the big reveal, so we'll have a lot to talk about on Thursday and Friday and going into the weekend. Alright, have a great rest of your weekend, everyone.